We're doing plants. I found it. I found the plant HUD thing. And of course, it's from Love. Love for the win again. Specifically, this is Love Primpal Winter Park. Now, a lot of these are going to be white, but I can color correct. And then when winter time comes, I'll remove the coloring and play with the ground cover, snow mounds, snow flurries, whatever. I just love the subtle movement of the branches. I don't know if you can see it from here, but yeah, look at that. It takes me a while to decide on the actual coloring. Like, do I want to embrace the post-apocalyptic vibe and go brown? Or embrace the fantasy vibe and go with a more lush green? Fuck it, let's try gray. With that question in the air, I switched to plopping down trees. Trying to camouflage this awkward strip of land. Back to selecting all the trees, Control D to duplicate and rotate in place. Going back to trying green for the shrubbery. Here I'm varying up the greens of the trees. Make it feel more like a natural forest and less uniform. I get more variety in my tree patterns if I only select a few and then rotate and move those around. I constantly do this little camera wiggle after each edit. It helps me confirm the placement is what I wanted, but my God, has it been a pain to edit around. Just hours of wiggle, wiggle, wiggle that I spare you from watching. I decided that the stream comes from a spring out of the rocks, with trees and shrubs growing over and around it. I think this will end up looking really natural to the eye. So I thought I was going to be able to accept seeing gaps of sky between the trees. However, I didn't even finish this corner before I decided this was just intolerable. I'm going to try this trick I learned from my original fantasy build. In that build, I flattened out rocks to give the illusion of distant hills and mountains. And I think that it worked out really well. Okay, focus, Ayla. Back on this build, I thought using the river banks would be a good idea because they have 2 layers of texture even when squashed down. This would further sell like rolling hills and mountains, right? I mean, yeah, it looks pretty good to me. JK, more trees. That little gap there bothers me. The idea is I'll probably park my girl on this balcony and oversee my little parcel from here with looking back on the porch. I do have flattened riverbanks back there, but it dips right here and I don't want to add another riverbank. So I'm hoping a shrub or 2 will plug in there nicely, without clipping into the house. Yeah, not too bad. Maybe I can finally move to the rest of the parcel's border. I need to make some room for the trees and the eventual fake hills. It had been a while since I checked the land impact, and we're already at 1065 out of 1400, and that just can't stand. Turns out the riverbank pieces get kind of heavy on land impact, so they had to go. Just so many more trees to still put out and furniture and stuff. Checking back, we've lost over 100 prims, now 949 out of 1400. That'll do for now. We're back to plugging gaps in with the shrubbery. Being able to duplicate multiple objects at once is such a time saver. Just trying to make them more of a border. More mass duplicating. Need to fill in the gaps under the trees. I darken the plants further in the background. It should all add a faux sense of depth. I can cheat a little here. Since I'll never look at the trees behind here, I don't have to worry about them clipping or floating back there. Let's do another land impact check real quick. Ugh, back over 1,000 again. No good. Let's see if we can't shave off a few prims here and there. That's 2, 3, 5. Can't help but get distracted with little tweaks that are needed as I go. 6. Oh dang, 11. 13. Okay, maybe not this one. Or this one. That'll be funny to leave in just one time how much I can't leave things alone when adjusting it. $15. Dang, again? 20. Alright, that puts us back under 1,000 again. Now we add more. Still bothers me how high my land impact is. Land pieces are expensive, but I'm loath to get rid of them. This one seems fairly hidden now. Maybe I could lose it. That's another 15 back. Duplicate the base. 1 land impact beats 15. Texture shrank with the object, so I'm just blowing it back up. A little color matching, you can't even tell it's a primitive. Just a couple of spots of border left to fill with the trees. So it's about here I realize I have a problem. I have these huge windows looking outside the parcel to nothing. I figured I'll camouflage this view with more trees and vines. That I can fix later. Before, this wasn't an issue, as I hadn't decided which house would be, quote, home, but at least for now I want this to be the place. Even I, with my double land impact, don't have the allowance to furnish all 3 of the homes I have here. So, play around for a bit to see if the trees will work, but I can't ignore the view is really this way. I got 2 big windows facing out and 1 window facing in. So there's only one solution. Alright, back to playing with land pieces. I'm wondering if I can do away with this 19 land impact piece. Parking lot is now cramping my style. As much as I loved it, gotta go. I still want a road though. The one piece left is completely buried by the land and the stream. No point in wasting land impact to hide it under there. Just checking to ensure there's no gaps in the ground now. Still only 2 land impact. The building seems like it could be shrunk a tiny bit. But I just want to make it a bit narrower, which requires editing all the linked bits separately. And as you can see, that's not going well. I'm not even sure I want to repeat all that work I've done with that first house. So many calculations. Okay, yeah, no, we're not doing this. Now I feel like I need to adjust a little bit more room for the workshop. The road is as narrow as I think it's going to get, so I'm checking door heights to see if I can shrink this place down a bit. Bonus, shrinking brought down the whole avenue from 94 to 76 land impact. Yeah, see? Still plenty tall enough. I'm never going behind this building, so let's create some space that I will see and use. Now we can scooch the road over, giving this shot more space. So I'm removing the shininess because it makes it read less grassy, and I feel the grass was still a bit too green, so I'm matching it. What I didn't notice, and what you're probably seeing right there, is that I had also highlighted part of the river because it's linked together. Because I had linked it all together in my panic when I was trying to raise it up off the ground into the sky. But yeah, don't worry about it. It'll get fixed eventually. So I do end up still shrinking the whole workshop instead of just doing the accordion squeeze. I'm checking to see where we are with the views, and not great. The edge of the land piece can be seen, and even worse over here. So I'm lifting it up. That's better. No more land piece edge, at least. Okay, more placement tweaking. Straightening out the ruins here, it was originally slanted, but I mean, it makes more sense that it would remain vertical and that the land would just build up around it. The view is starting to look good. Aside from that gap to the right, this is okay too. Just gonna plug that in. Okay, the front yard is good. Now for the backyard. Thought maybe I'd use this rock as a big sloping yard piece. Then I changed my mind. I think there are enough bumpy terrain pieces, and it's such a small area back there. Why spend more than one land impact? Another prim for the win. I just need a smooth hill transition to the ground now. We can lose a little sidewalk. Again, you know, overgrowth. The eyedropper again makes this so much faster. Okay, look, I understand the folly in what I'm trying to do here. I want a curved land piece to plug a hole, but also a flat land piece, but also only one prim cost. So I'm using this primitive. So I want curved, but flat, but cheap. And I'm not willing to break out Blender to make my own mesh, nor scour the marketplace for some reason. Regardless, I definitely don't need this anymore. And you know what? Maybe this isn't worth the 10 land impact either. Let's do another land impact check while we're at it. 961, still under 1,000. I finally noticed the green tint on the linked water pieces. I can't pass up tweaking the positions while I'm at it. The end of the road here I'll come back to a few times. I'm not quite sure what I want to do with it. I think I need a little hill to cover the end of the road to kind of camouflage that my parcel just ends, but that's the extent of my planning so far. Unsurprisingly, I grow bored of that, and now I'm in the mood to vine up the windows. I'm a fan of the 3D-ness of this, but it needs something more. I swear I don't have ADD. I just decided to look for a fence. I just feel like I need to establish a yard before I start populating it with plant life. This is the first good option. Only one land impact, somewhat interesting design. It wasn't right for the other house, but maybe it'll work here. It's weird how they set the mesh, but I figured it out. I can't perfectly line up each wall, so I'm experimenting with it looking more broken down. There's an awkward length of space here. I am concerned at this point. The texture still hasn't fully rezzed in, and either it's so big it's taking a lot of memory, or this just is not rezzing, so I delete it. And surprise, surprise, we're starting from scratch with another prim. Seems like a good height, gives enough walking space. Now for texture. I have moss-covered rock in mind. It's like, I like it, but it's maybe too mossy for this. I try for just a moment to go back to my old favorites, but let's see what all our options are before going back to it. It's a little bland, but I felt like I could match the stone to the workshop brick without needing an actual brick texture. And I get to save a few prims with just one long wall here. Now I start playing with the vines in earnest. I like that one, but there just wasn't enough of it. It just wasn't speaking to me this time. So we're using these vines, which I have a lot more options with. Compulsive view checking from inside to make sure I like the view. More compulsive view checking. Probably won't include all of these. I'm trying to break up the repetitive pattern by flipping some, but I don't think it worked. I mean, yeah, not bad. It's coming along. All of these are around 1 land impact each, but we know they'll add up, so I figure I'll link them now. So we go from 11 to 6, about halved it, not bad. It occurred to me to actually look up ivy in the inventory and found these options. So yeah, this looks like a nice piece of larger overgrowth. Back to vining up the wall in the workshop. You know, these little guys just gotta be replaced with ivy. It's pretty much what I was going for anyways. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, feeling better about this already. Decided I wanted the walls to be just a little bit higher. Squishing those over. I want the ivy to give a little more coverage in the stone wall, so flipping them over. Well, it was only a matter of time before I did this again. No worries, just borrowing the grass texture from over here with the eyedropper. Yeah, that's not gonna work in this area. Yeah, you know, this is looking good. I'm excited. I do have a little problem though. I don't have any ivy pieces that can cover the very top of this wall cleanly. It's not the greatest, but I'm going to put these down for now until I can think of something else. First person view walking through here is going to be nice. You can already tell. This we're still working on. I had this idea there would be like a beaver dam maybe, back when the stream was still going to flow this way. It turns out I do not have enough dead tree objects. So leaving that for now. I just realized here that I did not adjust the bridge when I shrank the building. So just fixing that. That's pretty good. Right? There's so much more to do, but it's getting late in real life now. The stream is on its way to looking really good, I think. Before we go, let's check the land impact one last time. 978. Still happy with that. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.